So I just read what I think might be the best business book I've ever read. And I've read many, many books. I probably read 15 to 20 nonfiction books every year, mostly about business or personal growth. But this book right here, Start With Why by Simon Sinek, could be my all-time favorite. He has a really popular TED Talk by the same name, and I knew about his stuff in the past. I've partially read his other book, Leaders Eat Last, but I hadn't read this one. And man, did this really shake me up and give me a new outlook on business as a whole. You know, I spent a lot of time trying to figure out the answers, the solutions to business, and reading these books that give you all this tactical, strategical type of information. But this book was like putting on a new pair of glasses and seeing the entire world in a different way, seeing all those other books through a different lens, and every business decision that I've ever made and have yet to make, seeing it in a more focused way, like I'm now looking through a pair of binoculars, whereas before I didn't have it. And I want to share my biggest takeaways from this book to help you guys out, and to share what I came up with as my why as well. You know, I think this will all tie together in a nice bow. So, you know, in the book, he talks about companies like Apple or Southwest and how they were started because a single person or a couple of people had a mission to change the way things were. Like Apple, for example, that was Steve Jobs primarily, and the dude wanted to start a revolution. He just did not think that things were being done as well as they could be. He saw just tired, old, conventional thinking pervasive in society. And he's like, dude, we can do things better than this. We don't have to just accept conventional wisdom as it is. We can disrupt the way we think and the way we do things. And he happened to get into the technology industry, of course, but that was very much happenstance. And he didn't, you know, it wasn't that the technology industry itself like bothered him because it wasn't, you know, cutting edge. He really just saw the entire world. He's just like, you know, what I believe in is thinking differently and challenging the status quo. And then his first way that he represented that was by changing the way computers were made. And then if you look at what Apple did after that, they revolutionized the music industry with iTunes and the iPod. Then they revolutionized the cell phone industry. And they're continuing to do this in a bunch of other ways. You know, like just think about like the AirPods compared to like the old headphones and stuff like that. Everything they do challenges the status quo. And it, you know, is about thinking differently. And so for those of you who are big Apple fans like me, I would ask you, do you believe in that way of thinking? Do you believe in challenging the status quo? Do you believe in thinking differently? My bet would be that the answer to that is yes. And the whole point of this book, you know, is he's saying the reason why we are loyal to companies is often because we can feel that they have a shared belief set to us. Now, it doesn't mean that Apple's belief set is right. You know, if you're not an Apple person and you're starting to get defensive over there, don't, because like that's not the point of this at all. Not everybody believes in challenging the status quo or thinking differently. And that is totally fine. There's definitely instances where that is not a good thing, right? But it's just, it's the same like reason why New York City is a really good fit for certain people who really believe in that culture and the way of life and the things that people do there. And then living out in the middle of nowhere in a rural town is a great fit for other people who really value those things. Southwest Airlines is another really good example. It's a company that I've been loyal to for a long time. And I couldn't quite understand why, but I just knew that there was something about the simplicity of their business model that really drew me towards them. That just the no BS, like no hassle, that what you see is what you get, what you see is what you pay. I like that experience. I always have. And so I've always been willing to give my money to Southwest over all the other airlines because of that. And when I read this book, he talked about the guys that founded Southwest. That was their mission. Flying on an airplane used to be really stuffy and like hoity-toity, and people would wear ties on planes and stuff like that. And they said, why? And it was expensive and just very cumbersome. They said, why does it have to be that way? Why can't we bring mass travel to the average American? And that was their whole vision about making it affordable, very simple, and just not fluffy, And that's what they did. And that is why they have such a loyal following. And notice first class does not exist on Southwest. They easily could do that and charge more, but that does not fit with their values. So think about other companies that you are just really loyal to, and then think about the value set that they have or you perceive them as having and how it might fit with your own values. He makes a really compelling argument in this book. Like the thing that Simon repeats in this book more than anything is that people do not buy what you do, they buy why you do it. And he says that's why people who are really behind Apple's movement will defend Apple over other companies, will wait in line for hours or all day to get the new phone when they could have gotten it the next week from the comfort of their own home, will pay double what they could get the competing product for just to support the company whose values they share and believe in. And so Simon makes a great argument that when you start with why, then you win, because the people who are listening, if they agree with your why, then they're going to be drawn much closer to you. And the products and services that you sell them, they're going to be much more happy to buy and be a strong advocate for than just starting with the products and services. Here's what we sell, here's what we do. And, he even makes silly examples in the book, like if you were selling, paper, you could just say, we got this paper and it's the best price and it's the best durability and you can write stuff on it, want to buy some, and it's just like, well, that's just a commodity, like I'm just going to compare your paper to the next person selling paper, and whoever can give me the best deal will get it. But what if the paper company started with their why before they talked about their paper, and they said, we believe in big ideas. We believe that everyone has really great ideas, and the only way for us to change the world is to collectively come together and share those ideas. And so, because we believe in sharing big ideas, we've developed this amazing paper that you can use to write and to print your ideas out so that they can be shared with the world? Would you like to buy some paper? And can you feel the difference between those two pitches? One of them starts with why the company exists and then goes to the product. And the first one, it's just about the product. Got some paper, da-da-da-da-da. And, he says that's what most people are doing with their businesses. And I realized it's true of me too. I mean, I've, tried in some instances to talk about my why, but I don't even really know if I knew what a why was or what mine was. And so I've really dove into this book. There's also a follow-up companion book called Find Your Why. Yeah, you didn't know you had to buy 2 books to find your why, not one. But this is more philosophical, understanding the concept. Got to read it. And this is more of like a workbook that gets straight to the point in terms of finding your why so that you can lead with it in order to make a difference. And man, it has helped me a lot because it's helped me understand where I came from, how I came to believe the things I believe, why I do all the stuff that I do. Because I'm weird. I'm always waking up and trying to essentially learn as much information I can about every challenge or every problem that I have and try to get to the bottom of everything and find the real solutions. And then when I find them, I turn out and share them with the world. And I've been on this madman kind of like journey to do that for many, many years. And it all has sort of clicked for me as to why I do what I do. And it all makes sense. And so I really recommend you get the book. I'm going to stop this episode for now, and we're going to pick back up next week for a part 2, where I'm going to go deep into what my why is and tell some of my backstory and how I came to be the way I am. But grab the book. Start with Why, Simon Sinek. You will be glad that you did. This book is absolutely amazing, and it will help to inform the different business decisions and the strategies and the products and services that you create from here on out. Thank you guys for listening. I will see you next week, and here is to finding your why. Peace.